Bon, bonjour, on va continuer du coup le cours que nous avons débuté, c'est-à-dire on va continuer part 3, Born Under the Immorality Act, qui est une partie que j'ai étalée sur 2 heures de cours. Alors maintenant, je vais passer en anglais et nous allons finir cette partie. Okay, so last time I asked you to describe this picture. I hope you remember. And what we expected the novel or the autobiography to be about. Now, we'll continue part 3, which is Born Under the Immorality Act. So, I would like you to look at these 2 photos. And just, what can you say? So, first of all, look at this picture. So, this is a picture of a little boy here and a woman. So, the little boy is looking at the camera appareil photo, and the woman seems very happy. She is hugging her child. They are probably, we can guess that she is the mother and he is her son. It is an old photograph, and if we look at when it was taken in 1987. So it is an old photograph. It is over 30 years old. However, what we can notice is that she is black. However, the little boy is of mixed race. Alors, j'ai une petite parenthèse. Alors, comme je crois que je vous l'ai dit dans le cours sur Jesse Owens, évitez... Alors, en France, si vous dites mixed race, non, ça passe pas du tout, mais dans les pays anglophones, mixed race veut dire métis. D'accord, je ferme la parenthèse. So, that little boy is her son, and he is of mixed race. So as she is black, we can guess that the father is white. Now here we have a more recent photo of Trevor Noah, which was taken in 2004. And this is a photo of him with his father. Now we can note that the father is white. They both seem very happy. They are both looking at the camera. They are, arm in arm. He has his arm around his shoulder and vice versa. And that's about it. So, if we look at the 2 photos at the same time, we have a photo of Trevor Noah when he was younger and Trevor Noah 20 or 15 years later. So his father is white and his mother is black. Okay? Now, I would like you to read the Immorality Act. So you have this on the sheet of paper I gave you. Let's read it together. So the Immorality Act of 1927 to prohibit illicit carnal intercourse between Europeans and natives and other acts in relation thereto. So let me just explain. So carnal intercourse means having sexual relationships. Or sexual relationships, any kind of relationship between a black person and a white person. So be it enacted by the King's most excellent Majesty, the Senate and the House of Assembly of the Union of South Africa as follows. Any European male who has illicit carnal intercourse with a native female and any native male who has illicit carnal intercourse with a European female shall be guilty of an offence and liable to on conviction to imprisonment for a period non exceeding 5 years. Any native female who permits any European male to have illicit carnal intercourse with her, and any European female who permits any native male to have illicit carnal intercourse with her, shall be guilty of an offence and liable on conviction to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 4 years. So just to make sure you understand that if a white male had sex with a native female, when I say when they say native, it means a coloured person, they could go to prison for up to 5 years. Okay? So it was against the law. Here, any native female who permits any European male to have illicit carnal intercourse, etc., etc., they could go to prison for 4 years. So just having sex, or even loving, well, if a white person fell in love with a black person, it was considered a crime and they could go to prison. And that was the law. So this was written, the Immorality Act was written in 1927. Okay? So if we look at these structures, what could we say? So they didn't have the right to be together. Blacks and whites weren't allowed to get married, to have sexual intercourse. They had to, black people had to marry other black people, or white people had to marry other white people. Black people couldn't fall in love with white people. They were forbidden from falling in love. So it was a crime. It was a crime to love somebody. I don't know if you imagine how bad that was. And it was punishable by law. So can you imagine that it was punishable by law, reprehensible, and they would be condemned? Can you imagine that? It was against the law. They could be condemned to 4 years in prison or 5 years in prison. So this is just a little extra. So the Immorality Act was the title of 2 acts of the Parliament of South Africa, which prohibited, amongst other things, sexual relations between white people and people of other races. So as we said, there were like 4 categories. You had whites, Indians, blacks and coloured. So coloured means of mixed race. So we just saw the first Immorality Act of 1927, which prohibited sex between whites and blacks, until it was amended in 1950 to prohibit sex between whites and all non-whites. So before, it was just blacks, and then it was everybody who was not white. And the ban on interracial sex was lifted in 1985. Now, if I just go on internet here, and if I type Trevor Noah, and if you look at when he was born, I don't know if you can see this here. He was born on the 20th of February, 1984. Can you see that? 20th of February, 1984. And if we look at this, right at the bottom, it was repealed in It was lifted. It was ended in 1985. So, if we get back to, there you go, Trevor Noah. So that's him there. We'll be working on the story, an extract from his autobiography. So, Trevor Noah. If we look at the title, the cover, the cover of the book, Born a Crime. So, if the law was repealed, if it was lifted in 1985, that meant that Trevor Noah was born a crime. It was against the law. His parents had committed a crime. So Trevor Noah existing was at that time a crime. And that's about it for this chapter. Enfin, j'ai passé au français 2 secondes parce que, alors je ne sais pas si vous l'avez remarqué, mais j'ai utilisé beaucoup la voix passive. J'aimerais bien qu'on regarde juste rapidement ce qu'est la voix passive. Alors, vous avez cette feuille, et là, vous avez plein d'exemples. J'ai passé au tableau, je vous emmène avec moi. Alors, juste pour vous rappeler, en français, c'est quoi? C'est la souris, ou le chat, mange la souris. Yep là. Parce qu'en fait, là, j'ai pas arrêté d'utiliser la voix passive. Vous voyez, j'écris toujours aussi bien. Ça, c'est la voix active. Mais avec la voix passive, la souris est mangée. Et après, par l'agent, c'est-à-dire par le chat. OK? Et après, selon le temps, le chat a mangé la souris a été mangée par le chat, etc., etc. Du coup, la première phrase, c'est la voix active. La deuxième, c'est la voix passive. En anglais, on va utiliser beaucoup plus souvent la voix passive qu'en français. Parce qu'étant donné qu'on n'a pas de « on », ouais, on a dit, on a fait ça, l'anglais va énormément utiliser la voix passive. OK? Alors, j'ai mis plein d'exemples sur la feuille. Mais par exemple, the cat eats the mouse. On va faire une petite chassée croisée comme ça. Youp, youp. Et ça devient la souris a été... Oh, mince, je fais n'importe quoi. The cat eats the mouse. The mouse is eaten by the cat. OK? The mouse is eaten by the cat. Ah, par exemple, on va dire... the book was written by Trevor Noah. So, the book was written by Trevor Noah. OK? Je ne sais pas si vous voyez. Ça, c'est une jolie voix passive. OK? Si vous voulez transformer ça en voix active, ça devient Trevor Noah wrote the book. D'accord? Trevor Noah wrote the book. La voix active, qui est au predate, parce que c'est wrote. Et là, ça devient the book was written by Trevor Noah. Etc., etc. Mais on va revenir un peu, là-dessus après les vacances. Mais je voulais d'ores et déjà l'aborder. Du coup, c'est be plus participe passé. OK? Be plus participe passé, c'est-à-dire la troisième colonne. Vous vous rappelez? Vous avez la base verbale, puis le predate, et enfin le participe passé. Alors, le participe passé, vous vous rappelez, on l'utilise pour le present perfect. Et ça, on l'a vu dans les 2 chapitres précédents. On utilise le present perfect. Et maintenant, vous savez, on l'utilise pour la voix passive. OK? Bon, j'espère que je ne vous fais pas trop mal à la tête, là. Le present perfect, on l'utilise pour le participe passé, pardon. On l'utilise pour le present perfect. Et pour la voix passive. OK? Et il se construit be plus participe passé. Alors là, vous pouvez prendre n'importe quoi comme exemple. The policeman shot the man. Très simple. The policeman shot the man. OK? So, the policeman shot the man. Ça, c'est une voix active qui est au prétérit. Et là, ça devient the man was shot. Alors, après, ça dépend du contexte. Si vous voulez, on n'est pas obligé de le mentionner. L'agent n'est pas toujours mentionné, mais là, si vous voulez, on peut le mentionner. Was shot by the policeman. OK? Du coup, was plus participe passé. The man stole the car. Alors là, qu'est-ce qu'on a ici? Youp. Stole. Ça, c'est la voix. Pas la voix, ça, c'est la voix active. Au prétérit. OK? The man stole the car. The car was stolen. Ah. On n'a pas vraiment besoin de mentionner l'agent, là. The car was stolen by the man. OK? Vous voyez, be plus participe passé. Après, voilà, selon le temps. Par exemple, I will eat the cake. Bon, là, ça ne veut rien dire du tout, mais bon. I will eat the cake. Du coup, là, on a un petit futur. Mais là, si on veut le mettre à la voix passive, the cake will be eaten. Et là, si vous parlez de vous, la voix passive, ça craint un peu, mais bon, vous avez compris. Hein? The cake will be plus participe passé. OK? Etc., etc. Je crois qu'on reviendra dessus, mais j'aimerais bien juste évoquer, parce que là, dans ce chapitre, étant donné qu'il y a beaucoup de voix passives, parce que ce sont des choses qui sont infligées. C'est pas quelque chose que Trevor Noah a choisi, mais ça a été infligé. Du coup, on utilise énormément la voix passive. Alors, je vous ramène à l'ordinateur. Si on regarde les exemples là, the cat eats the mouse. Alors là, c'est au présent. The mouse is eaten. Alors c'est is qui est au présent. Et, j'espère que vous voyez, is plus participe passé. The cat is eating the mouse. Alors là, c'est ce qu'il est en train de faire. Et là, très simple, ça devient is being plus participe passé. Le prétérit, c'est the cat ate the mouse. Du coup, was eaten. Present perfect, the cat has eaten the mouse. Là, c'est has been plus participe passé. Will eat, voix active. Voix passive, c'est will be plus participe passé. The cat après, là, c'est tous les autres modos. The cat should eat the mouse. The mouse should be plus participe passé. OK? Une chose que je n'ai pas dit, c'est les verbes réguliers. C'est super simple, ça se termine juste en ed. Par exemple, I listened to the radio. Ed. The radio was listened. Ed too. D'accord? Alors j'espère que là, vous avez compris. Je reviendrai sur la voix passive dans 3 semaines. Mais, dans 3 semaines, c'est-à-dire après les vacances, après la semaine de confinement de distanciel. Mais j'espère que là, vous avez commencé d'ores et déjà à comprendre la voix passive. So, I hope you understood everything. I hope that this video helped you to understand, and have a very nice day and work well. Goodbye.